Hyundai have just launched their Elite i20. Prices aren't too different from the predecessor, but Hyundai say it's going to offer up a much more premium experience. Well, we're going to drive it and find out if it can do just that. The styling is more mature and restrained than before and is an evolution of Hyundai's fluidic design language. The latest i20 looks terrific and there's no doubt about it. The focus on the front is the trademark Hyundai hexagonal grille with the honeycomb finish. The sleek swept-back headlights and fog lamps with a blackened surround give it a sporty look. The bonnet is now flatter, making this i20 look wider than just the 24mm it's increased by. And though length has been trimmed overall by 10mm, the wheelbase has increased a full 45mm, meaning more cabin space for sure. The profile looks nice with a rising belt line, sloping roof and the blackened C-pillar. There are also 16-inch alloys which give it a nice planted stance. The rear is possibly one of the nicest angles with the spread-out tail lamps that have 3 bold lamps. A nice stylish touch along with the lip above the rear windscreen. For families, there's a decent-sized 285-litre boot that housed all our luggage easily. Get inside the Hyundai i20 Elite and you feel like it's a nice, big, spacious hatch. There's a nice two-tone coloring to the dash. That two-tone coloring follows through to the seat upholstery. Everything is laid out really nicely. Meters and dials are clear to read. Quality may not be as good as its German rivals, but it's good on the inside and it's an interior that you feel happy being on the inside. You feel comfortable. And typically Hyundai, it comes very well equipped. Detailing on the interior is impressive, with silver accents on all the buttons, knobs and gear lever too. The layered effect of the dashboard gives it a richness as well. The steering has rake and reach adjust, and along with the height adjust on the driver's seat, it makes it easy to get comfortable behind the wheel. The screen for the music system is a little small, and the knobs for it too. But the driver gets his own set of controls on the steering wheel, making it easier to operate. The Elite i20 is fairly well equipped, and from mid-level variants you will get things like ABS, electronic climate control, pin-stop windows that will automatically roll down if an obstacle is detected, 1 GB internal memory for the music system, Bluetooth, reverse camera, and electric folding outside rearview mirrors. And that's only naming a few. But things like airbags, automatic headlamps, the advanced supervision cluster, and rear wiper come only on the top-spec Asta version. Under the hood, the i20 comes with 2 engines, the 1.2-litre Kappa petrol and the 1.4-litre U2 CRDI diesel that were in the previous i20. We started off with the diesel engine being the popular choice. Now this 1.4 diesel engine is one that we know. It's a familiar one from the previous i20 and it does have similar characteristics. It's a nice, smooth, refined engine. Power remains the same 89 bhp and so does torque, which is 22.4 kgm. The 6-speed manual remains the same as well and gears are as they were before, light and easy to use. This engine has a nice strong mid-range and past the 1800 RPM mark you can really feel a surge of power. But the thing is that in city traffic most of the time we're below that. And at lower RPMs it's not quite as strong enough as one would like. You'll find that in traffic conditions when you want to get a quick move on, you will need to work the gears. However, get past that 2000 RPM mark and there's this nice burst of power and it pulls really strongly after that. The 6-speed gearbox is carried over from the old i20. But the ratios are a bit different. Owners complained that the previous car was sluggish at slow speeds and Hyundai has tried to fix that problem. Though the engine feels more energetic than before, it still takes time to wake up. Don't ask too much of the engine, be gentle on the pedal, and it will amble along comfortably. But once you get into the meat of the power band past 2000 RPM, the engine has a nice spring in its step. And this helps it on the highway where overtaking is quite easy and passing the car ahead calls for just a flex of the right foot. This gives you the big car feel in many senses of the word, especially when you're out on a highway, cruising at higher speeds. You feel confident, it feels stable, it feels planted. The only thing is that the steering is very typically Hyundai, has this curious dead zone off center. So it just doesn't give you the feedback that you'd want and let you feel actually how stable this car really is. The lack of feel off center takes away from the fact that the steering actually responds well to inputs. It's just inconsistent in the way in which it weighs up. There is also some roll and it's not greatly thrilling on a twisty road, but it never leaves you feeling unsafe and goes round the corners quite confidently. There is a balance in the chassis that wasn't there before, which makes you feel more secure. The upside of the light feel to the steering is that within city quarters, the car feels easy to maneuver and park. We also drove the petrol car, which maintains the same 82 bhp of power and 11.7 kgm of torque, but has been tuned for a better response at lower RPMs. For a 1.2 litre, this engine actually feels quite good. It's not exciting or thrilling, but it's got a nice linear acceleration. It's very easy to use, be it in the city or out on the highway. It feels comfortable at all times. It's not the most energetic at low speeds, but things get better as you progress. This engine needs to be revved hard to get the best out of it. It builds up speed easily and revs past the 6000 RPM mark quite comfortably as well. The short stint in the petrol let us get a feel of the differences between both the cars. And things to note were that the steering felt lighter than the diesel, and even around the corners, it felt less planted. Having tested both the engines from behind the wheel, we headed into the back seat of the diesel car to see if the promise of more space was true. This gives you a big car feel. It's a comfortable, spacious back seat, good leg room, nice and wide bench. The only thing is that the window line is a bit high and the glass area a bit small. But this width means that you can fit in a third passenger quite easily. The only thing is that central console intrudes into this space, so the center passenger will have a bit of a squeeze on leg room. Still, this central console houses the AC vents, so that means passengers at the back will remain cool. The AC vents were a boon in the sweltering heat, and they cooled extremely well too. With the vent being adjustable sideways, it's easy to direct air to both sides of the back seat. The seats themselves are comfortable with good back and leg support, but a much too rounded off edge on the rear bench can mar comfort when 3 people are packed in the rear. On practicality, the i20 scores with a lot of storage spaces and you can always find place to keep things. There's also a unique card slot under the music system. Now, while sitting in the back seat, we also got to experience the ride quality. The ride quality is good, especially the low-speed ride. It just sort of cuts out the bumps and potholes, and the suspension works away quietly in the background as well. It's only when you gain momentum, sharper bumps and potholes do catch it out, and you hear the suspension clunk through as well. Ride and handling are still not the i20's biggest strengths, but they have definitely improved from before. The car also boasts of reasonable fuel efficiency figures, and company-claimed numbers are 18.6 kilometers a litre for the petrol and 22.54 for the diesel. The Hyundai Elite i20 is, as its name suggests, a premium hatchback that offers you a premium big car feel in many ways, Be it drivability, be it comfort, be it space, be it the interiors, and even the way it looks, it really looks like a hot hatch. Now that premiumness does come at a premium price tag, but then, like all Hyundai cars, it's very well equipped too. Now, this is not a car that enthusiasts will want, but what it really is a great all-rounder. So be it city or be it highway, this is a car that copes really well, and with the brand backing of Hyundai, it makes for a compelling buy.